Hello, and welcome to The Porch with Alicia Barlow. Hi, I'm Alicia Barlow, author of The Porch, a place for enjoyment, conversation with people, reflection, and encouragement.
Hello, everybody. This is Alicia with The Porch, and I'm here today with Elle Shroyer, who is with Habitat for Humanities. And what is your title with Habitat for Humanities?
Yeah, so I'm with Rose Rock Habitat for Humanity down in Norman, and I'm the Vice President of Donor and Community Engagement.
All right. Well, before we kind of just start talking about Habitat for Humanities, I'd like, kind of tell us about yourself. Who's Elle?
Who is Elle? Oh, gosh, so many things over the years, right? I think as you've kind of prepped me with that question, I was like, what am I going to focus on? And so, I'm a member of a wonderful community. I'm a mom and a wife, and I've always had a passion for helping people. And I feel like the Lord has just led me in so many ways and different paths. With his guidance, I've just been to a lot of places. And so the Lord has brought me here to Rose Rock Habitat for Humanity to serve the community and bring awareness to the needs of the people that live there and get to know their stories and walk with them.
Oh, wow. Love it. Okay, you say Rose Rock for Humanities. Okay. I know that when I first started hearing about Habitat for Humanities, you said something the other day, and I said, yeah, that's true, that people think that Habitat for Humanities means getting a free house. And that's not so. And so I'll let you kind of explain that. But also, what I'm just finding out recently in meeting you, that there are different, sectors of Habitat for Humanities, because you said you're with Rose Rock. So I guess there's different communities. Kind of explain that, because that will help. I think a lot of people, don't realize that it's not just one. It is one big agency, but there's other communities or subsets.
Exactly.
Of it.
So it started in Atlanta on a farm in South Georgia, where a couple, or this gentleman, that just wanted to, for everyone to have an equal opportunity. And so he built a community there and started building homes. And from there, gained some further interest, and some other people got involved, and then President Reagan got involved. And so it's just spread across the nation and now across the world. So Habitat for Humanity International, as we know it, is based out of Atlanta. And then the rest of us are affiliates. Okay. And, for lack of better terms, a franchise. So, and so we are a part of the international program and entity, and we tithe to them, as it were. So,
I wanted to ask you about that because I saw that, but we'll
can talk about that later.
Yeah.
But basically, most habitats will start in a city, and it's really by volunteers. So they, form a group. They talk about, what they want to do and have, align with the mission, and they submit their request to Habitat for Humanity International, and then they're formed, and they have a board, and then eventually, if they get big enough, they hire staff to run it. But because it's a volunteer organization, it can run by volunteers for many years. And stay at just building one house at a time. And then some of them get bigger and will, go, have, bank loans and larger partners and apply for larger grants and are able to make even bigger impact, and may even go countywide or multiple counties, and then even statewide, which is amazing. So I think Texas has a state affiliate that basically supports all of the affiliates in the state that want their support. So it's really neat. And so Oklahoma has kind of three big affiliates. You have Central Oklahoma, which is Oklahoma County. And they're doing great work, and they've had kind of the same leadership for 40 years. So they're making a great impact in Oklahoma County. And we have Rose Rock Habitat for Humanity down in Norman. And we serve Cleveland County and now Pottawatomie County. And so our biggest impact is, Norman more in South Oklahoma City, and then now moving into Shawnee, and we'll expand from there. Okay. And then Tulsa is Green Country Habitat, and they have 5 counties. Okay. Wow. And they're doing great work out there. So,
all right. Well, that's interesting to know, because I didn't realize that it was kind of broken up into, franchises, as you said.
It just makes it local. That's the thing. So when you go into your local Habitat Restore, which is one of our main fundraisers, so you donate there, buy there, that all goes back into our operations and construction and making sure that we are sustainable. But it's all going back to when you donate to the Restore, when you donate to your local habitat, it goes into your local community. Habitat International, you can donate to them as well, and that goes, to their operations and things that they're doing and the things that they do to support us. But it's incredible that they've, the way that they've organized their organization is to be able to make it where local communities can make a local impact.
Okay. So you mentioned the rehab store. Now, I know of two. Are there more?
Yeah. So do you know?
I know the one south Oklahoma City.
Yep.
And then the one right here off of Broadway Extension.
Yeah, so those are both Central Oklahoma Habitat. Okay. And so if you go down into Norman on Main Street, just across from our one of our high schools there, is a habitat that's been there since 2015. And then we used to be kind of North Norman in the industrial area. So yeah, we have three kind of on the main 35 corridor there. And then in Tulsa, they have 5.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Wow. So actually, I take it back. I think they have 5 restores and then a couple of restore racks, which is clothing. So, which is fantastic. So that's something we have talked about branching into. It's just, it's just a different beast to make sure that you handle correctly all the items that go into there. So,
wow. So for someone who is interested in, wanting to know about Habitat for Humanities, they're wanting to purchase a house or get a house. What does that look like for them? I mean, what revenues do they need to go into to try to even apply, or what is required?
Yeah. And so, I mean, if they're, on their phone, able to get online, you can go to the habitat that's in your area. So in Norman, if you're in Cleveland County or in Pottawatomie County, you can go to the website. And typically there's a place like on our website, and it's most habitats websites, you can see what we're currently building. And so we just selected 3 homeowners for our 3 current builds. And so we are not taking applicants for any specific home, but we still take inquiries and can talk to people about, where they're at and how they can get ready. But we're mainly looking for families who, have, a steady income, but for some reason cannot get a regular mortgage from a bank, whether it's credit history, or credit score, some history, some different things that they, just need maybe longer history to get a mortgage from a bank, where we can work with them because we provide education with financial literacy and homeownership classes. Plus, we are with the family through the life of their mortgage until they're either ready for us to sell the mortgage at a discount. So they also get, I forgot to mention, a 0% mortgage with us, so they can build equity in the home. And then, but we help them, build up their credit and their equity. And then if we're able to sell the mortgage at a discount so they maintain their 0% mortgage, then we can fund that into, put that into a new house. Okay. And so that's one of the ways that we are able to, sustainably continue to build.
So just kind of go into more about, the process of the program.
Yeah. So online, the basic requirement is that they are in between a certain income level based on how many people are living in the house. And it's HUD requirements, but it's very clear on there what's your take home per month. And so from there, if they fall between that, then there's just a short application that's really just their general information so that we can reach out to them. And then there's an orientation that we do in person so we can answer questions, talk about the process. And then they do the rest of the application is, income verification and credit checks and bank statements, collecting all of the similar paperwork that you would do with a regular mortgage. We walk through all that with them. And then all of that information is collected, and then we have our family selection and family support committees reach out to them and do interviews to kind of see what else is going on, if there's anything other way we can support them. That's what our family support committee does to make sure that they are aware of all the other resources that are available to them in the community. And then the family selection will review all the applications, review the interview statements, and then make a decision. And so that's a really hard decision, especially right now, since we are only able to build and fund about 3 to 5 homes at a time. And so we are working on developing, relationships with banks to do loans, but also looking for and seeking, partnerships with businesses that would be interested in investing in a family and building a home, and continue to do that work with us to make this bigger.
How does the application process look like for you all? With the housing situation as it is now, I mean, is there an influx of applications? Is there a lot of people calling about, needing support? Yeah. I mean,
So I've been in my position just 9 months. And so even in the last 9 months, I've noticed, so we struggled to find applicants for our homes, and now we're getting a ton of inquiries. And so I think it's all about that awareness. Okay. And so we've done a lot of work, social media, networking groups, chamber events, different opportunities, where I met you too at REI, just to let people know, hey, we're here and this is what we do and what we can do, and we can do more of with more awareness and more support. We can come around these families and provide this affordable housing. And when you say affordable housing, that's kind of a hot topic right now. And in general, for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, it may sell for around $250,000. We can build it and sell it for less than $200,000. And that's through our partnerships, donations, volunteer labor, relationship with contractors that can do some donation, whether labor or materials for us. And then we're able to get that family, a lower mortgage, to be able to get and go and build that equity in that time.
So do you look for families, or can it be an individual?
Both.
So
it's right now we have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath in Noble. And that's going to be a family, mother and father and a couple of children. And then in Norman, we actually we did a dual build on a piece of land that we were able to separate a plot where it's 2-bedroom, 1-bath. And they're identical homes. And we're also doing a study comparing electric, gas, and full electric. And so it's been kind of fun, and working with OG&E and ONG on that. And but those homes are actually for a single gentleman, who's has got an incredible story and has done a lot of work.
They said those homes.
So, there's 2 homes. So one is for a single gentleman, and he's got an incredible story and just gone through, making some difficult decisions, making some, and then making some hard decisions to get better, and then has been doing fantastic. And so he is ready for a home. He's been renting for a long time, and rent these days is even more expensive than mortgages. And then the other home is actually for a couple, but right now the mom and dad are separated. Okay. He's in another country, and so she is here with her daughter, and so she's gonna be able to move into the home, and she's gonna actually live. Her parents are like less than a mile away, and so where she's living right now, so she'll still be in the same. Her daughter won't need to change schools, and just be in the same area, same parks that they usually go to. So it's pretty fantastic that they were able to do that. So smaller families as well, and that's going to be very I think their mortgage is between $600 and $800 a month. And imagine 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment right now is probably over $1,000.
Yeah, it's out there. I have a friend who's looking for an apartment, and it's rough. Yeah, it's rough. So wow. So you all provide housing, affordable housing for people, and it's not free, but there are some requirements. But you also have other programs. Mm-hmm. I was reading now for like some of our senior citizens. There's an aging in place, and which is a very hot topic right now because people are living longer, and as we live longer, we want to kind of stay in our own homes. We don't want to have to move. Yeah. So kind of explain what that is, for someone.
I'm going to go back for one thing, because I know if anybody listening that's with Habitat will listen, we also have the requirement of sweat equity. And everybody's like, what is that? And originally it was actually, fully, getting the nail to the hammer on the home. And that has morphed a little bit just with, housing requirements and inspections and code and all of that. So there's still a portion of that and opportunities to work on the home and be a part of that, and getting to know the contractors that are on your home. That are working on your home, so that they can actually take care of it afterwards, which is fantastic. And then, but it's also volunteering with us. So last night we had one of our homeowners at the Crimson Week, or Camp Crimson at OU. So it's the freshman week. And so they had their largest class of 5,100 students, which is, so they were all in the South Oval. And so we got to meet them. So they got to meet the homeowner and our OU chapter students that are reestablishing after COVID. They're finally coming back together, so it's pretty cool. But so the sweat equity is, getting out in the community and volunteering with us. It's also doing the education classes that I talked about, so financial literacy, and then they have some online courses, additional online financial courses, and as well as our homeownership workshops where they, again, meet contractors.
And those are required?
Those are required. They're also free to the community. So speaking of other programs, and I'm going to go back to the aging in place, but so we offer online free financial literacy program right now. We got a grant that covers it for the next couple of years. And then also we do a homeownership workshop currently now in Norman at the Well. Our next one's actually on August 26th.
Now, what is that? What exactly is that?
So it's basically several contractors. So you think your plumber, your electrician, fire marshal, and HVAC. So learn about your AC and heating. And then as the habitat portion, I'm kind of switching up what I do, but this time I'm going to do how to be a good neighbor, which is when I first did it, it was interesting how it was received, because in the room I had longtime homeowners and I had renters that were thinking about purchasing a home, and then new homeowners. And it also made me think of like post-COVID, how are people interacting in their neighborhoods? And it's so different, but the conversation was so interesting of what people are looking for and desiring coming out of an apartment, and those that are established homes that like, well, I'm self-sustaining, I have a community outside, but how wonderful it is to have a neighbor that you can call on to save that Amazon package, to shut the garage door, let the kid in.
Kind of going back to the porch, right?
Yeah,
you're sitting out there, you get to know who your neighbors are.
Exactly. It is so important to have that community right where you are. Exactly. So anyway, so aging in place, we'll go back to that. We actually build ramps. And so that's actually one of the easiest things that we can do with volunteers. Mm-hmm. I think right now is we get a volunteer group to be able to come in, and we'll already have the material there, and then we can work with them to put the ramp together for a family with a new need or an existing need that they were trying to figure out what they were going to do, if they're going to be able to stay in their home or they're going to have to move somewhere else where they can have accessibility. And so we partner with the city of Norman, and then also outside of the city of Norman, we have companies like Forest Lumber that will help us with the materials when we don't have funding. So,
do you do any other modifications to the home, such as widening doors, placing grab bars? Do you do any of those things?
Definitely grab bars. The widening of doors we have done, but it really depends on funding. And so if we get a specific need, we may do a specific reach out to to our supporters and local churches and community members to say, hey, we've got this. And so if we have funding, it's always limited to funding. So once we have funding, we are able to do those types of things.
So how does someone apply for that?
Yeah. So like I said before, I kind of focused on the website. You can also call us. And so pick up the phone and call. Someone will answer your questions. We do have paper application forms we can bring out if we needed, but everything also is online. And it's the same type of thing. We are looking, again, at that need base. So we're looking at that qualification for income based on how many people are in the home. And then a short application where it just gives us the information, what you're looking for, what you're needing, and then someone reaches out. And then from there, it's just an application, income verification, identity, and then also if they are renting, that we get landlord's permission.
Okay. I know sometimes as a therapist, and we do home health, I run into patients that are needing some form of home modification. And I do know that there are other programs out there that do assist with grab bars, ramps. But now it's good to know that Habitat for Humanity does that same thing, or falls into that same category, and just another resource to provide to them.
Yeah. So just based on what county they're in, contact that Habitat and see where they're at with that program, because that is one of kind of our standard programs that lots of habitats participate in, and will provide that service.
And so what are some other programs that you all...
Yeah. Recently, there's been a lot of funding to help people stay in their homes. So in addition to ramps and widening doorways and grab bars, it's emergency repairs. So making sure, our passion is making sure that people have a safe, healthy, and decent place to live that's secure for them. And so emergency repairs. So if it affects any of those areas, that's something that we want to address. We do work with individuals to make sure, in addition, we're also looking at insurance. So where their insurance is, do they have funding there first that they need to use, and then we can meet with the rest. And so based on those needs, we will do that. And also it depends on funding. So right now we've got an amazing grant from the city of Norman to do emergency repairs. And then we just also received one from the city of Moore. Okay. So we'll be ramping that up. We were still providing service again when we have funding to be able to help a family outside the city, outside the places where we have grants and different things. We are always raising money to help what we can.
So depending on where the person lives, if they're living in Oklahoma County versus Norman, what they receive may be dependent upon the grants that
the funding resources that they have at the time
of that particular agency.
And if what's great is we do have other, because there's other organizations that do meet the needs and all that, and also there are applications and loans and money out there for families to apply for themselves, and so that we also are able to help them with that. Like, unfortunately, we don't have any funding, but you could apply for this and then hire us or hire a contractor to do the work as well. And so knowing that some federal funding, because it's all about getting people into homes and keeping them there.
All right. And so, and you kind of assist with providing them that information to, get loans and
connecting them with the person that can help them if we're not able to. Yeah.
All right. Great. Now you talked about, there's some community cleanup programs. What is that?
Yeah, so that's another opportunity. Again, there's a need out there for beautification, and it's a great way, again, bringing community together to get to know your neighbors, get to know the people in the community, and helping them with some exterior repairs. And so, again, partnering with funding sources and really mainly labor. Getting just all different skill levels because it's from mowing lawns to cleaning out flower beds to planting flowers to minor porch repair or the steps. Fence repair, a little bit of paint sometimes, and window caulking and weather stripping, things like that. And so that is something that is very easy and teachable, something that we can do with a lot of people. And so we actually have a faith-based community cleanup. It's called Faith in Action on Sunday, September 24th in the afternoon, and we're partnering with several churches to bring out their congregation to get into the community. And it's just a great opportunity to provide the support that people need, and then also have those conversations and get to know people and let them know that there are people that care.
That's it. So where is that from? Where is that?
It's going to be in Norman. We're piloting that program because we really want to continue that and develop that out. And so, it's going to be we're going to be meeting at Goodrich United Memorial Methodist Church. If I said that in the right order, Pastor Stephen Lashley will be very happy with me. But it's off Robinson, just east of 35. Okay. And the neighborhood that we're providing service to is just south of that. Okay. And so we sent out postcards, and now we're canvassing to kind of let people know that, hey, you got a postcard. Would you be interested in seeing if you qualify for that? So, yeah.
So how are neighborhoods chosen for that particular program?
Well, for this one, it was based on being close to the church that was going to be hosting us and providing lunch. But then also we have a property where we are going to be building a home later this year, the first of next year there. So we've been building relationships with the neighborhood. And so they already are aware of us. We want, to build those good relationships with them and provide them support as well as they're going to be welcoming in a new family soon.
All right. All right. So you had told me about that program that was coming up. But then there's something else that's coming up. You said a disco festival?
Yeah. So we also, again, it's all, and I didn't even state our mission, but, we're all about bringing God's love into action by building homes, which we've talked about, community, which we've talked about, and all surrounded with hope. Okay. And that's what, it comes about. So we put on community events. And so instead of a gala to bring in donors, we want them to come to these as well. But we do community festivals. And so in this fall, we are doing our first ever disc golf festival. So instead
Are you saying disco or disc?
Disc golf, sorry.
Disc golf.
Disc golf. So instead of the golf tournaments, disc golf, you take a Frisbee and you're throwing it into a basket. And it's very popular. We're also able to get, there's 3 events in one. The first one is actually a professional PDGA, so Professional Disc Golf Association, a sanctioned event. So we'll have professional disc golfers out there doing an 18-hole or 18 basket course. And then we also have a kind of corporate challenge or 4-person scramble, if you're familiar with golf tournaments. But this is disc golf. And so they have 9 holes, and they'll have sponsors. So they'll have companies and organizations out there with a tent, providing some swag or gifts or whatever. But then the companies that sponsor the hole actually decorate it as well. Okay. So, for example, we'll have our construction team bring out our 5-foot frame house and then require the disc golfers to, get the Frisbees through the house.
Oh, that sounds
we just
fun.
have so much fun. So it's probably going to be some heckling and just a lot of fun. And then the community can come out for the festival part of this, which will have street festival type vendors and food and drinks and then music all day long. And then they can also play on the the 9-hole fun challenge as single or doubles. And so they'll be able to purchase that the day of. And then we're going to have 3 to 4 baskets with flimsy discs, because they're going to be flying everywhere, for the kids to play on.
Okay.
And so just a lot of stuff, and bounce houses and all those types of things. And it's an all-day festival on October 14th at Cobblestone Creek Golf Course down in Norman.
Okay.
This is where we're based, but we are expanding.
All right. October 14th. Yeah. What time does it start?
It's from 10 to 7. So all day long, come and go. Have a good time. Yeah.
And is there a fee for it?
There's not a fee. We're going to be selling merchandise and tickets, for everything. And so, but the music, and the music is free. Bring a chair. And
just kind of hang out.
Yeah. First, the small donation of purchasing some tickets, so you can kind of go do some of the vendor things and the fun activities. So thinking kind of like a carnival, but no carnival rides. So kind of more a street festival type.
Oh, sounds great. Sounds fun.
Yeah.
All right. I'll have to put that down.
Yeah, you should. We'd love to have you there.
All right. Love to. All right. Well, gosh, that is a lot. Yeah. Now let's go back to the tithing. I didn't realize that Habitat for Humanities was such based on Christian principles.
And so we are a non-proselytizing organization, which basically means that we're not going to preach our faith, or we don't require, that is not a requirement for our applicants. But we do believe, that we do have based in the Christian principles, and that we are doing this out of God's love and being of that faith, and the importance of putting action behind your faith. And so it's just basically paying into the organization that is providing resources and support and the brand and all of that. And so based on the community we serve and how many homes we build, and then there's a certain amount that just kind of goes back to them.
Okay. So each affiliate or each franchise is required to provide a tithe to the...
Yeah. Exactly. Every year to support what they do as well. So that's really awesome.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
I know we were also going to we talked about all the programs we have. And I think, again, affordable housing being such a hot topic, why? And it's because when you get people into homes, they're more stable. Yeah. They have a statistically better chance for to grow their generational wealth because their kids are in a more stable environment, not having to move every year, try to figure out where we're going to go next, is that they'll stay in the same school. So they build up that community and that stability. Statistics show that they're able to go further in their educational career, whether it be VOTEC or into a job or into college. They see all of that. And then also because, one less thing that the parents or the adults have to worry about of where are we going to live next year? What is the landlord going to need to do for the next year? Is that they are able to then think about their community and the people around them. So they're more civically engaged. Yeah. And so that's what home ownership does for people.
I always say that everybody deserves a home with a porch to make memories.
I love that. Yeah. So I guess that's your request is make sure we have a porch in all of our houses. I think
every house should have a porch. Yes.
So maybe we can find somebody to donate a rocking chair for all of our houses.
Oh, sounds wonderful.
There you go.
I love it. Elle, thank you so much for joining me here. Yeah. Thank you for the information.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening and joining me on the porch. Remember to take time to reflect, share memories, and engage with others on your porch. And I'll meet you here next time on The Porch, your podcast for community conversations. Brought to you by the Possibilities Podcast platform.